Welcome to the MadTrio podcast. This week we have the California Pariah, Jonathan Charney, James, the Fat Man Stevens.
Hello.
Rob, the old guy.
From the world's famous Rob Charney show.
And that's it. Unfortunately,
it's a trio. Imagine that.
He who must not be named decided not to show up. So if he shows up next week, we'll mention who he is.
You mean our guest?
Yes.
Our guest didn't show up this time.
So
no, he did not.
Everything now, the modern world loves subscriptions, whether you're talking about that monthly box full of whatever flavor, dog treat, or man stuff. But guess who now is introducing a monthly subscription? There's like a man box. I don't remember what it was called.
Tell me whom.
It can come with an axe. It can come with a bag. It's an interesting thing. But Tesla introduces a $200. That's
right. The self-driving.
That's $199.00 full self-driving monthly subscription. The feature was previously locked behind a $10,000 one-time fee. So instead of paying $10,000, depending on how long you have the car, you could be spending much, much more on something that's not.
Can you just sign up for 1 month?
Yeah, if it's a subscription, you can cancel it.
You never know with Tesla. I mean, it's all right. That's fine. I'm not signing up for a fully automated car yet.
So there's no real true fully automatic car. I mean, was it
automated? There is fully automatic.
I'm sticking to what I said. There's no automated car is. I think Cadillac has Cadillac has one, but you still have to be involved in it, and it's you can't be in the side street and drive it. It still can't.
The side street? No, you can't do that. You can't be in the passenger seat either. I
want to watch my car drive away, pick up somebody, and then drive
come on back. That's it.
That's it. I just thought of a new service. Walmart. So what'll happen is my car's going to drive there. It's going to open the door like Knight Rider. You're going to put the groceries in, and it's going to drive its ass back.
There you go. That's actually a great idea. Jetsons. It's more like the Jetsons.
Except for the fact I just said Walmart, so it's going to end up happening my car's not coming back.
You'll have 4 homeless people in it coming back with it. Where are we going? I don't know, but it's our new home.
What's going to happen is it's going to be 4 homeless people, no tires, and it's going to get a text message saying, help.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a whiny car.
Coming back on the rims.
Tesla has introduced, pc.mag.com, you suck. Tesla has introduced a subscription offering that allows its customers to choose its full self-driving, or FSD, autonomous driving software and support vehicle for $199 a month. Electrek reports that Tesla customers who purchase the enhanced autopilot package, which the company no longer offers, will be able to subscribe to the FSD for $99 a month instead.
What's Tesla obviously is not in the black yet, so they're grasping at anything they can, right?
I kind of
must not have been an awful lot of people signing up for that $10,000 package.
I don't think I'd be signing up for that.
You know what?
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So the worst part about this whole thing, and I'm surprised Tesla hasn't been nailed to the wall for it, is say for example, say you had a good friend who bought the top end Tesla, bought all the packages that you can buy, and he said, "Okay, Rob, I don't want this anymore. I'm going to sell it to you for cheap."
I can't transfer it either.
Yeah, pretty much what happens is you say, "Awesome!" So you sign up the car, and all of a sudden, all those fancy dancy packages that he has, it disappears like a fart in the wind.
Yeah, the new owner's got to pay for all those premium packages.
And that's one of the issues a lot of drivers have. There's a story of a guy a number of years ago. We might have talked about it. That's the reason he bought this Tesla, is it came with all the packages, and it was all gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm surprised that the U.S. government hasn't really nailed Tesla for that.
It's in the fine print. You didn't read the EULAs. That's all right there. I mean, that's why the government hasn't said anything. It says, I can't help it if the customers aren't reading out fine print. It's right there. That's why we got all these attorneys on staff.
Yeah, that's eventually, I have a feeling that's going to change, because imagine what happens. Like, you want your car to go drive faster than 25 miles an hour? I'm afraid that's going to be $10,000. Or if you want your car to go faster than the posted speeding limit, so since everything is GPS tracked, let's say you're going 55 miles an hour, and if you want to go faster, I'm afraid that's going to be $500,000. I mean, what's really stopping them from GPS locking the speed?
Well, I think probably nothing actually, but I think that what's happening to Tesla is that they're starting to see competition come online. So you have all the majors starting to come out with their versions. You have some other electric companies that are coming out with their versions. And so I think they're starting to feel a little of that pressure, knowing that Cadillac and GMC and Ford and everybody's coming out with an electric, and it was starting with some of them with the 2021, some of them with the 2022s coming out. And so, Tesla's really not going to be the only choice out there. So they're trying to, they're investing a lot in infrastructure that the majors don't have to really do as much because they already have a fair amount of the infrastructure.
The only thing I think infrastructure-wise that Tesla's going to be above everybody else is the gigafactories, is the fact that they have factories producing batteries for them. And I have a feeling that's going to be their ace in the hole at some point in time.
Maybe. But, one of the things that having kind of looked at the Teslas for a while, I kind of like the idea about electric cars. But one of the things that bothers me a little bit about Tesla is their styling. It's kind of, I mean, there's nothing great as far as I'm concerned.
The first true hybrid was the Toyota something or other.
The Prius?
The first generation was ugly as sin.
Yeah.
I mean, even Etzel was a better looking car than the first Prius.
And it was given a pass simply because of what it was, but because everybody wanted the fuel mileage. And so you're right. I think the
Gremlin was a prettier car.
The wheel skirts still bother me to this day. I don't, it's just like,
how about the Pacer? Because you had that giant terrain at the back.
At the time it was unique. Now it's like dumb. But at the time it's kind of like,
if you left anything in there, they would fry.
Absolutely. Including the interior of the car, which melted at times. So, yeah. You're right.
I mean, I do, but I don't like the Tesla. I mean, actually, the thing that I don't like the most is there's the lack of a grill. I realize they don't need it,
right,
but the lack of a grill is really,
not only that, because I agree with you that, but on the models that don't even have the Tesla logo on the front nose, that also bugs me. It's just this plain looking bulbous, weirdish, uglyish thing. And, at least what is it, the Model X that's got the logo? And when the other models don't, I don't know, whatever model it is. And it's like,
it looks like a car with an extra chromosome.
So again, that's my biggest problem with styling. And if you start looking at what Cadillac's coming out with and Ford Mustang, I'm still not sold on a four-door Mustang concept. I thought that was a little weird, but
let's be honest. Four-door pony cars have never looked good. If you take a look at back in the 60s when they had those four-door Mopars, they were hideous.
Yeah, you're right. There is that. So I'm not sold on the look of the Mustang, but I think it looks better than Tesla.
They should have called it something else.
I don't disagree with that, but I think they wanted to use the Mustang front end look.
Well, they could. You know what I'm surprised? I'm surprised they just didn't make it the new Fusion.
Yeah, well,
because the Fusion kind of makes sense. You go Fusion. Oh, what is Fusion? Cold fusion is power. Electricity.
Yeah.
There's some stupid kind of gimmicky commercial tie-in versus this is the brand new all-electric Mustang.
I don't know. Maybe they're trying to bounce off that Mustang name because who knows how long.
Are there still
they make a lot of money? They make a lot of money off that Mustang name.
Oh, yeah, they do.
That's probably why they went with it, because people are more likely to buy a Mustang than not.
Are there two-door versions of this, like the traditional Mustang?
No. As far as the electric goes, it's strictly a four-door.
Are there going to be pony boys or bronies who are going to go out and buy a four-door Mustang? Because let's be honest, is a guy who quasi likes cars. I would never do it.
It's going to be a guy like you with a kid and a wife, and you're going to pile into the Mustang and have a place for the kid. And,
not a chance in hell. I wouldn't even buy a.
That way you can say you have a Mustang and you got a kid and a wife.
I wouldn't even buy a four-door. I wouldn't even buy a four-door Jeep because they're ugly as sin.
That's true. Of course, I won't buy any Jeep.
I wouldn't
buy a Jeep either. I don't like them.
I won't buy anything Dodge or.
I want a 74. I want to find a 74.
I know you do, and I don't agree with that. But go
Oh,
Go ahead.
there's multiple,
waste your money.
Hey, no smog as long as the
It's
engine's
your
not
money,
fragged.
dude. No, I think some of the electric cars coming out. I like the concept look of the Cadillac looks great. Of course, I can't imagine what it's going to cost. I don't know that they mentioned the cost yet. The all electric Hummer that's coming out actually looks pretty cool. It's a bit retro in style, a lot of square interior and things, but I thought it looked kind of neat. And BMW's looks very nice, very similar to the regular BMW line. So I think that's cool. I'll be interested to see. I'm not sold. Toyota's, their whole line of their hybrids in the way they look, they don't do anything for me. And the other problem that John and I have, and Toyotas anyway, is fitting in them because they're not designed for anybody over 5'8". They don't seem to be anyway.
It's story time, ladies and gentlemen. Set the Wayback Machine Sherman to sometime in the mid-90s. I remember we went to go look at it was a first-gen 4Runner. And I remember trying to get into the back seat, and I couldn't. I got in, I was sitting in at probably, it was a 30-degree angle, and I couldn't get in there. It's like the RAV4, for example.
Yeah.
My mom drove one for a while, and I couldn't fit in the back seat.
Two-passenger car in our family.
Yeah.
Even though it had a back seat.
I could fit in the back seat as long as I was taking up the entire back seat.
It was like trying to sit in the back seat of my M3 or my Mustang, either or. You couldn't do that either. But those cars, at least you were willing to sacrifice that back seat for what they were.
Well, the best thing about
Not a RAV4.
The best thing about the M3 is that was a 4-door M3.
Yeah, it was. And still didn't. I had a little bit of them.
I ever tried it. I had a 94 4Runner for quite a while. I don't think I ever tried to sit in the back seat.
You probably didn't. It was your car. When it's your car, you don't sit in the back seat. I don't think I've ever been in the back seat. I know I've never been in the back seat of my Yukon.
I think John only rode in the front seat of that 4Runner whenever I was driving. So.
Yeah. Well, being 6'5", I was familiar with. I'm familiar with those vehicles. So anybody shorter than me always rode in back when I was there, which was everybody.
So we know the Olympics are coming up, right?
Yeah.
They're coming up. At least they're claiming they're coming up, and here in the next few days, couple days from now, and of course I'm scratching my head a little bit thinking about why are we still having the Olympics in the middle of this pandemic? But hey, it's not up to me.
The Japanese people don't want it either.
No, they're not happy. But that's not really what the story is that I'm reading here. I'm just talking about the Olympics. But I have a story here. So you guys may not have heard about this, but they claim, and there's a conspiracy theory going around, is that the beds that are in the Olympic Village for the athletes are anti-sex beds.
Oh, so is this the cardboard beds I heard about?
So they're going around talking about apparently the bed frames, not the mattresses, but the bed frames are made from a corrugated cardboard that's designed to be recycled and made into something. I don't know. Anyway, it's made to be recycled. And so there was a lot of theories going around as, they're designed to be anti-sex beds because, you get on that bed and you start making any kind of motion. Poof.
A teacher, ask a question. I didn't have a bed frame for 25 years.
Oh, do you think they're smart enough to remove that mattress from the bed frame? That could be, but I've got the latest news on this.
Well, hold on.
All right.
So are they going to have like a den mother walk around and go, excuse me, what happened to this?
No, the den mother probably wants to join in.
Kinky.
Yeah, exactly. It is the Olympics, man. So one of the he's a pommel horse expert. Specialists from the Irish Olympic team, right? So he said, wait a minute, we're going to put this to a test. But it wasn't like him and his girlfriend. No, he just decided to do himself filming, jumping up and down on the bed.
It was him and his donkey.
So, him and himself. That's
him and his pommel horse.
Him and his pommel horse, that's right. But, apparently the bed manufacturer said, no, we designed these beds to stand up to 440 pounds. Of course, that leaves all the weightlifters out. But... especially the Russians. But
let's be honest, the Russian ladies, especially after the last Olympics, where they got banned from an entire Olympics because of the doping.
Yeah, well, and that'll teach them not to shave their armpits.
No, you didn't. Do you remember that scandal?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I remember that.
So because the whole doping thing was fake. I mean, the testing was completely fake. I recently heard about again. It said the only people the Russians weren't putting on
Payroll.
steroids was the figure skaters. I guess they found out that it takes a lot of fine motor control to do all those spins and stuff. And I guess putting somebody who's not naturally used to testosterone, I guess it doesn't work.
Didn't work well. Okay. Well, none of that surprises me. But anyway, so it's fake news on the anti-sex beds for the Olympics. That's
okay.
Yeah, they can't have sex, and trust me, maybe they're not. This is COVID time. They're probably having to run around their vaccination card.
No, what they're doing is they're breathing heavy behind masks. You're gonna wonder why are these two people missing all these events? They're passed out cold dead from inhaling fibers.
That's right. They couldn't do it. So, all right. So we'll see what happens.
I don't think I'd want to be doing an Olympic Games in mask either.
Well, John was referring to having sex.
They're.
I know.
So do you think they hand out gold medals for it? Because the old joke is
for sex.
Yeah, because
who's going to judge?
Yeah, the Russians. It's going to be the low score.
The Russians.
Because the old joke is there's the number one hobby in the Olympics is everybody's getting bumper there.
Well, that's why that story came out.
I heard, was it the Atlantic?
Yeah.
The Atlantic Games in '96. I heard there was a story of in one of the areas for the Olympians only, there was a giant, massive bowl full of condoms.
Oh, yeah. They've been handing out condoms for quite a while at the Olympics.
Should have been called the Trojan Games.
I wonder if we can get Trojan as a sponsor for that. Hey, Trojan. Never mind. I can't get dude wipes. I'm not going to get Trojan.
Well, you want to talk about sponsors. We have this awesome sponsor,
here we go.
and you need to listen to this. It's very important. Today's show is brought to you by Audacity. The game where dignity is overrated. Go to ODDASSITY.com. That's ODDASSITY.com. Pick up a card game from this website or selected stores. That's Audacity, the unforgettable party game for mischievous people.
Okay.
So speaking of sex,
wow, that transition was...
there was a cybersecurity expert that was saying that all these sex robots that are coming out can be hacked to kill you.
Well,
wait a minute. Wait, hold on. I swear I saw that in like an 80s dystopian movie.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, it's called Westworld.
Right.
No, that'd be 70s.
Yeah, 70s. But yeah, so the guy's actually saying that, these sex robots that are coming out, if a hacker gets into the security systems in the brain or the head, they can be wired to either choke you to death or kill you in a different way. And I'm thinking, that could be kind of, we've all heard about this and, like all these horror movies where, these robots start going out and killing everyone. And I mean, Skynet.
Yeah.
So I just came up with a plot of a movie. So here's my idea.
I don't think you really need much of a plot to the movie, John.
No, but here's my plot
with kills you
with a thriller, maybe starring Nicolas Cage.
Oh God!
In a couple of years. So what it is,
He's probably already done this movie.
Man and wife are arguing. They haven't had coitus a number of years. Man buys a new Sony sex robot. Wife gets mad at him. Hacks the robot. And this guy's just found dead, and somehow this robot just tortures him. She follows him around, and then one day you find him with like a missing limb. This after the wife had hacked this Panasonic sex robot.
All right.
Kind of sounds like Blade Runner. I don't know, man.
So. During World War II, the Germans built a fake wooden airfield with wooden aircraft, vehicles, and hangars in order to trick the Allies. The RAF, having known of the secret project from us... Knoning?
They were known about it. Who wrote that article? Wait a minute. Better. British article?
Yeah. The RAF, having known of the secret project for months, patiently waited for them to finish... And then they dropped a single fake wooden bomb on it.
What a sense of humor.
I've never heard that
I
up
hadn't
until
either.
when I saw that.
Wow.
You hadn't heard that one? I heard that one, and one of the old World War II stories shows that I've watched over the years. There's
Wow.
been so many, I can't remember the name.
That's a good one on the Brits. Fake wooden bomb. Well, I mean, the Germans were just copying what the Allies did during the invasion of Normandy and setting up all that fake, and it worked too. The fake tanks and troops and
But the Allies were easier though. They were portable. They weren't wood. They just you had to go to the
they
hand
blew them
pump.
up. Yeah, what they got Patton to be out there and pretend like he was marching troops around. It was really there. They used him as the decoy.
See, do you think to punish the soldiers in that operation, they said, "Okay, Bob, you're a pain in the ass. Go pump the tank." You have this guy with an old-fashioned bicycle pump going, "Motherfucker."
Well, I'd rather have done that than been on the beaches. To be one of the first guys on the beaches, to be honest with you. I don't have those guts.
He was peeling potatoes and pumping tanks.
There you go.
This sounds like one of the stories we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, man, maybe the fake beds too.
Yeah. So we're going to bring it down a little bit to sad. Robert Steinhardt died. Kansas City frontman and violist violist died at 71. I'm either really tired or I'm having some sort of mental breakdown.
Maybe both.
So, oh wow!
Well, I'm sorry to say that he died at. I mean, he probably would have liked to have lived in 97.
The musician's wife confirmed the news, saying he had been hospitalized for acute pancreatitis.
Ugh.
The violinist or whatever
Violist?
the old guy said, I can't say that word. Founding member of the rock group Candace died on Saturday after being hospitalized earlier in the year for acute pancreatitis. He was 71. That sucks.
That does suck.
And the weirdest thing is it doesn't seem like the band is as famous as they should be. You don't hear too much. Like everybody knows Kansas songs.
That's true.
But not a whole lot of people seemingly know
the band.
And it's like not like Jethro Tull, because everybody makes fun of Jethro Tull because, hey, look, the dude's, the guy's playing pan.
They think it's his name.
Yes.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
So, Ian Anderson he flips out anytime he tells him, Jethro, I'm not freaking Jethro.
Because everybody thinks he's some redneck from Alabama.
With a British accent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, aren't you from Alabama? Why?
No, thank you.
I heard this. And I was like,
it's too bad.
Yeah, so I'm kind of actually hoping it gives maybe gives a resurgence and gives the surviving members a payday.
My problem is the closer I get to that kind of age, which is like in hours. What time is it?
6:29.
Yeah, thanks. That's not what I meant. But it's a little in the morning. I knew there was some reason I was off today.
That explains why I can't talk.
It just doesn't seem like 71's fair. It's just not fair. You just you want to have a little bit of doing some cruises and doing senior activities, and you croak.
Well, you eat dinner at 3:00 in the afternoon, so at least you got that there.
4. We're at 4, and I go to bed at 7. What do you want out of me?
So this is a segment.
So Don, I got a question.
Yeah?
Since we're talking about deaths, now I don't remember us discussing Grant Imahara dying.
We did talk about it for a bit. I don't remember how long the conversation was, but I know we talked about it.
I was looking up something. I think just yesterday or the day before, and I came across the fact that Grant Imahara was dead.
Yeah,
he died last year.
I don't remember it. Maybe I missed that show, or I just really wasn't paying attention at that time.
That's probably when his phone cut out.
I don't remember. I don't remember us talking about it, but it was last year during COVID. I don't remember it being big news.
Yeah, it was.
Because he died from a brain aneurysm.
Brain aneurysm, yeah.
That was.
Oh, you're talking about death, and I just remembered that. I don't remember.
That was a true bummer. Talking about going way before he should have, and
he was 49 actually. He was almost 50.
Yeah, still. Yeah. I mean, really, it's just. Really young. Yeah, that was a bummer.
Anyways,
but,
so for
our audience though, no, that's the.
Yeah, if you missed it, Grant Imahara died last year around this time. Actually, I think it was June or July.
Yeah,
he was best known with Mythbusters. He was also a big contributor to the Robot Wars.
Robotics.
Yeah.
And all that. And he was very well known.
Yeah.
So
Anyways.
I'm creating a new segment for, there's an app or device for this. And so these are
Is it a test? Is it an app?
No,
or is it a device? Oh, it's not a game.
No.
Damn.
So these are all Facebook ads or products I've seen in news articles. For the first one, and I don't know why, I get really wacky
You should
ads.
test us. Is this an app?
I'm not quite sure. I'm actually not quite sure how on some of these I would do this. But so from Ely Magazine, that's ELLE Magazine. Finding your bra size has never been easier. Get fit and shop for comfort for your own home with the new My Bra Fit app. So basically, it's using your phone and somehow measures your chest. I'm assuming it's going to have to use one of the new iPhones that have that scanning technology.
We can try it right here.
Well, you're a little overweight, so
It's fine. Fuck you.
Damn.
There's I don't know why most of these are women's products, but there's a smart bra and light tracker, the wearable tech helping plug the medical grade gender bias gap. So basically, it's like a bra with a heart
A heart monitor built into it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I sent this to a friend of mine just to see her comment.
That brings new meaning to halter monitor.
I sent this to a friend of mine just to see her reaction, and her first question was like, so how do you wash this thing? I said, I guess they're
Gently?
removable. Yeah.
They're
They're
in the
waterproof.
sink like most of you girls do? No.
From the ladies I know, they said that they almost never wash them. From the people I've heard the story from.
Oh, you're listening to all those country girls. Like the city girls wouldn't say that.
And here is, and this is why I think this is funny, because this is literally like the last 24 hours of trying to find stories. And there's a device that's supposed to help ladies for the monthly cramping. And it's this thing. And my first thought is, this internet enabled? And that's the three things that have come across searching the bowels of the internet of weird apps.
The interwebs.
Yes.
Yes.
The tubes, as a certain former congressman called
The
it.
tubes. The interwebs. Kind of like the interwebs.
Wow, that
Yeah, that was not the greatest story. We were having a great time until those came along.
that fell flat on
That
a
did.
plate full of piss.
So
Okay, go ahead, James.
So, what do you think? Three women who find out they're all doing the same man or dating the same man. What do you think they do when they find out about him?
Torture him or murder him?
Well, they got together to figure this
all
out,
got
right?
together.
So they got together.
Trump fitted a 30-year-old bus and took off on a road trip.
Oh, okay. Hey, became
This
best.
is the hippie generation.
Yeah, they became best friends. Okay. Hey, we're all doing the same guy. Let's become best friends. What?
Yeah, and make and renovate a bus and take off.
Get a bus and we'll all go and do a road trip.
There's a couple of movies that have this same exact
Yeah,
same
kind of. Yeah.
is it like something
Is
Todd
this
Marshall?
real or
But
anybody interview this guy?
Evidently, there was 6 girls that he was all dating at the same time. They found 3 more, but only 3 of them got together. And
But the other
took
3
off on a
couldn't get
bus.
along, so they didn't want to go on the bus trip.
I have
Apparently.
I've always had one question for guys who date multiple women.
In the same city.
How the hell do you do that? I
don't know.
He's a traveling salesman. I mean, that's the way it was always done in the 50s radio shows.
True, but
So-
still, if you but still, how do you have enough time to hang out with multiple women? And
I don't know.
and that always amazed me, and I don't know. I'm just always like,
Got
how do you
me.
guys- I've known a few
I've
people,
been married forever. I have no idea.
and I've met a few people who have done that. And I'm like, dude, how come she hasn't found out and murdered your ass yet?
Yeah, the other
Have you
3,
talked
I
to him
think
lately?
probably,
No.
the other 3 of the girls of the 6 that he was dating probably are plotting his death. So
No, they're going to psychologically torture his ass.
Thelma and Louise.
So I did find something interesting that I've never heard of, and this generally goes towards women, but I'm assuming this would men. Do you know if you have a tattoo, it can affect mammograms? because the ink goes in the lymph nodes, and you get the actual the whatever, however the mammograms work, it actually shows up on that X-ray or whatever that device as potential cancer. And they're finding out more as more adults from the millennial generation, most of them have, or a lot of them have tattoos, and there's something they're actually finding out, that the tattoo ink actually goes into the lymph nodes.
You know, you've been either fixated on brassieres or...
No, this was from... This, believe it or not, was a today.
What have you been reading on the internet today?
I actually know exactly where this was from. The Today I Learned section on
Today
Reddit.
I learned about sex because we talked about sex earlier at the Olympics.
So Ford made a premium gas fragrance for electric...
Ford Motor Company?
Yep. Ford made a premium gas fragrance for EV owners.
Fragrance.
Close enough. Who miss the smell of fossil fuels.
Oh, you know, when I was a kid, I was growing up, one of the smells that I liked the most was ethyl gasoline.
That explains so much about what happened to me.
It does, doesn't it? That's where that gene problem came along. It was all the smell. Honest to God, gasoline had a really good smell. And if you talk to any old timers that have been around the old gasoline, many of them would probably agree with me. It's something about ethyl gasoline, and that was the higher octane gas back in the day, the leaded gas. They were busy sniffing. But
yeah, you guys were pretty into getting high, huh?
Yeah, no, well, you know, interesting enough, I don't think I ever got high from it because it was just the smell from pumping the gas in the car and the vapors. You know, there's no vapor recovery system in gasoline stations back then.
This explains why they say as soon as they stopped using lead gasoline, there was a dramatic increase in IQ.
Yeah, no kidding. But really, it did have a unique smell. I mean, it was kind of neat.
I knew there was kids in high school that loved the smell of Sharpies. You know, they all looked like Hitler.
Yeah, they all did, right? Oh, well, so those kids, unfortunately, those kids are huffing cans of paint. You know, it's like, oh, yeah, you've been huffing. How do you know? And, you know, their whole face is silver.
Do you want to know? You want to know how to make a paint huffer's day? Get him a can of gold paint.
Yeah. Okay.
Not kidding. So you just dropped a cool $59,000 on a Ford Mustang Mach-E GT, your own sporty slice of electric future, made by a company that only knows how to build them. Ford Tough, to be precise. What happens when you plug in your new car and you miss the telltale whiff of chemically gasoline smell? Waiting from the inside, according to the Ford.
Wafting from the inside.
You're substitute it with premium fragrance inspired by gasoline called Mach-E, MACH-EAU.
Mach-E.
The name does not get better the more that I type it, according to this person. So it doesn't name the price. However,
you got to be kidding me.
This is from The Verge.
Oh,
so
might as well be from The Onion.
I don't think they're that bad. But
be surprised.
I do hope it's real, and I hope it's cheap, because I know a couple of people.
And cheap.
Because I know a couple of people who legitimately might love it if it actually smelled like gasoline. And it was to say, you talk about favorite smells. My favorite smells of the day are gasoline and gunpowder, and sometimes at the same time.
At the same time. Do you guys ever live stream over Facebook?
I don't.
Never saw the point.
I've never done it.
All right.
Not once.
Well, so a 44-year-old Colorado man last week was found guilty of vehicular homicide after speeding well over 100 miles per hour, live streaming to his Facebook page and causing a fatal accident. So he was convicted of 3 counts stemming from a 2018 incident involving leaving the scene of a fatal crash and reckless manslaughter. Excuse me, guys. Didn't mean to cough in your ear.
I can't hear anything now.
What? Can't hear you. So, yeah, and he was live streaming while he was going up to 155 miles an hour while talking to his viewers on Facebook Live. And he crashed into another car, and unfortunately, he killed the passengers.
This is something that I don't get about the modern generation. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is a get off my lawn moment. Why the fuck do you all record everything and stream it if you literally just streamed your ass into jail?
Yeah, because there wasn't much his attorney could have said, no, it didn't really happen, or he blinked, or whatever it meant have been. There's a video of it.
Yeah.
And it's like,
there you are, live in 4K via the Samsung Galaxy S5.
yeah, I mean, how many life sentences can we get you? Or
But the weirdest thing is I've seen a number of them do that. JDF, Jason David Frank, used to record. If you don't know who he is, he was one of the Power Rangers. It's pretty much what he's known famous for besides doing Comic-Cons. I remember a couple of them, like him holding his phone while driving his Ferrari or one of his expensive cars. And I remember thinking, dude, you're going to kill somebody. And for a while, it was a thing up until like these more like phone mounts become more popular. I always thought it was ridiculous. Mm. And some of these guys were like holding it right in front of them, like so you could tell it's on their eye level, not down more. Because if you don't know, like having it down more, it doesn't look good. So you want it up or a little or flush, so it doesn't make you look fat, etc. And there's a reason why some of these celebrities don't do that. And it's just like, dude, this is stupid. I don't really care that you're going to be at Bob's House of Comics in Toledo, Ohio. Just freaking drive.
Well, if there are some TikTokers and Facebookers and all these people that are constantly on their social media, whichever flavor it may be, that make a fair amount of money. The YouTubers and some of these guys, they make a lot of money off of these things. So they're constantly having to video or live stream, whatever it may be, all the time to keep that generation funds going. That's the only reason it would be logical for me to say, okay, I understand you videotaping everything of your life. If that's the way you're making, $100,000 a year, then that's fine with me. But, obviously this is about as stupid as it gets. And, so if you're going to do it, be safe. I guess that's the motto of the story.
Well, I'm really surprised, and I don't really know if there's a law or not. I'm surprised it's not in California where this is recorded. It's like a no streaming law, because in the state of California, you cannot touch, as of last year or the year before that, you cannot actually touch your cell phone while your car is driving.
So, one of the questions, and I haven't had a chance to talk to a CHP officer recently, and I think it has to do with if you're driving erratically or not, or whatever it may be, distracted driving, right? Because even your information centers on your cars now, if your phone rings and it's paired with that information center, you have to answer yes. Well, you can voice command it in some cars. There are, the ability that most of the time you have to touch the button. Or if you're using the GPS or using the radio, you always take your eyes off the road to a certain degree.
On the particular car I drive using Apple CarPlay, the green button, the red button are huge. So you can literally see it at the corner of your eye. The GPS is an interesting question. But I'd like to believe most people go by like the verbal directions, or like me, if they're at a spot like where is it, you look down for a second, and you're so used to it that you can just it's like reading a clock. It's a split second.
No, I understand, and you're right for the most part with GPS. Although was recently, last couple times I used it. One of the things that's bugging me a lot is. So if you haven't used it, as you're going down the freeway, if there's law enforcement on the side of the road, if there's an accident, if there's debris in the road, whatever, you either have the opportunity to put in where you're at and you can say debris on road or whatever it may be, and or law enforcement or whatever it could be.
I don't know how you do that in Drive.
I don't know how you do it either. And I don't, because it's just buttons now. But the other thing that bothers me is that you'll get it reported as you go by, a little prompt pops up and says, oh, was that accurate?
Yeah.
So now I want you to respond to that too. And it's like, whoa, wait a minute. Now you're being intrusive.
At one point in time, it used to be, voice commands, but it would take over where Siri was. Mm-hmm. And so I think they're going to have to do, if they're going to do that, they're going to have it interact with Siri and say, road construction or slow traffic, because every time I've used WAS, and I use it quite a bit because I commute a fair amount, is I just don't I didn't understand, like, how can you do this and the way they report it? Because you have to be at a standstill in order to use it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I do like it. It is a very handy app, and it seems to work fairly well, but I think there's some problems with it as well. Well, anyway, so much for getting Microsoft.
What? Microsoft?
Yeah, anyway.
Well, we have something else that you really need to hear in order to listen to the MadTrio podcast. Do you want to keep up to date on the maddest of the mad at the MadTrio podcast? Check out our social media feeds on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or go to themadtrio.com.
So anybody gonna watch tomorrow? Tomorrow's a big day. Everybody hear why?
Oh, is this where Bezos?
Bezos, Blue Origin's Jeff Bezos launches on the New Shepard. It goes up at about 6 o'clock Eastern time, West Coast time.
So here's a
time.
question.
Duh. Yes, question.
What are the chances that it's going to blow up and take out the Amazon?
The ex-chairman. So being on behalf of Blue Origin, if I said it, they've had 15 successful test launches. So the odds are pretty much against it. And
you got to check out, by the way, the Twitter. Elon Musk has been dropping memes about this for the last week.
Oh, has he?
It's been hilarious.
I wonder why I haven't been seeing it. I follow him. Anyway, I'll look for it. So on the 20th, July, 9 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time or 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, you get an opportunity to watch live as the rocket could possibly take off.
You know what I really want to do now? I want to find a recording of the Blue Origin launching, and then take the audio from the Hindenburg disaster.
Yeah, have you looked at that rocket?
It's phallic shaped.
Well, kind of like the Amazon symbol, logo, whatever they want to call it. And also, it's a very strange, it looks like a stubby, fat rocket. So use your imagination plugged in here, whatever you want to think of it.
It's the Ron Jeremy of rockets, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know. It's very odd. It's very odd looking rocket, but I don't know.
Yeah,
who am I to say?
I can't find some of these memes, so the dude posts.
He must have watched what was it, the old Flash Gordon one before he made his rocket.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Darn, I can't find it. So
I've been looking like these are great ideas.
I don't know. I heard about. I didn't know it was tomorrow, but I really don't care. I mean, honestly, because I really don't like Jeff Bezos. Like Elon Musk, legitimately seems like he'd be a giant pain in the ass, but I like Elon Musk a lot more than I like Jeff Bezos.
Well, he's really nice to his brother. I mean, if he's nice to his brother like that, can't be too bad of a person.
This is true. I mean,
so
depends. Is that his only brother, or does he have 6?
Good question.
If that's the only brother, because if that's the only brother you're nice to, that went from awe to what a dick.
Yeah, it's his younger brother too.
Yeah, see, it's all in perspective.
I guess so. You're right. And then about the woman that qualified for the Mercury missions, but because she was a female, was never allowed to go on any of the space flights. He's taking her up.
Why was that? Was it because of that they didn't think she could hold it, or was it from bodily functions?
Well, the story goes is that she actually aced everything and actually did as well or better than the men. It's just that she was a woman. And they really felt in the early days of launching rockets to outer space that if they lost her, it would be just could stop the whole program.
They do have a good point there. As far as PR wise, nowadays, if you did that, you'd get everybody all over the world going yes. But back in the '60s, I could see that would be a nightmare of a PR.
It would have been
stupid.
It wouldn't have helped anything, and that's what they were afraid of. They had a goal in mind. They had to get to the moon by the end of the '60s, and so they everything that they were doing back then was a definite PR mission, and that's why there was so much news coverage on all those early launches.
So why? That's the first time I've ever heard of her.
Oh, yeah, she'd been on. I even knew about her. Wally Funk, F-U-N-K. Her first name is Wally, W-A-L-L-Y.
I wonder if she's related to the world famous Hall of Famer wrestler Terry Funk.
I was different story altogether. But since you talked about wrestlers,
or his brother Dory Funk Jr.
Wasn't all the dead air off of that one.
Dory Funk Sr.'s their dad.
Oh, really?
World famous
then he would have been
Texas
the third
wrestler. Sorry, what were you saying? You said
Gina Carano? She's a female wrestler. Gina.
You mean the MMA lady?
Yeah.
Gina Carano?
Yeah,
Carano.
the face of MMA.
Yeah,
They
she
used
was
to call
a-
her.
My God, I can't ever get her last name right.
Ronda
I'm sorry.
Rousey went into wrestling for a short time.
I was the
But
reason
Gina Carano, I don't think she has.
the reason I mentioned her is I was watching on the making of the Mandalorian today, and they have a section. Of course, they were. If you haven't followed along, unfortunately with her, she's got a fairly large role in the second season, and she's been fired for possibly saying things she probably shouldn't have said. But anyway,
On a social media post. That's at least be clear.
yeah, which is, you should be able to say whatever you want. But apparently people didn't like that, so she's been fired. But anyway, she's covered a lot in this behind the scenes kind of show that's going on. And I'm sitting there going, I wonder if they were thinking, how do we scrub this? Disney was, I'm sure, working hard not to let people see that. But anyway.
That's an interesting point considering if I remember correctly, and this was forever and a day ago, I think she got in trouble for saying something, I think anti-trans and a Holocaust thing.
Honest to God, I don't remember.
Yes.
Was it?
Guaranteed
Google
one was anti-trans, but the Holocaust thing I remember it had a picture of people in a concentration camp, and I think it had pictures of people on the border being locked up by Trump, and I think it had some sort of inflection about one does not equal the other. I think it was something like that because I remember I remember people thinking that's a little stiff. Because I remember thinking, wow, that was the stupidest thing you could have posted. There goes your career, and bada bing, bada boom, she lost her job.
Yeah,
and she may be back, by the way. There's rumors that Disney may bring her back. I mean, if they brought James Gunn back for a joke, for something he said years ago.
Well, if she was, if she said a statement that she shouldn't have said simply because of ignorance, and she apologizes for it, then I don't have a problem with it. If she said it to be malicious and did it on purpose, I have a problem with it.
See, I don't know the way I took it, the trans issue aside, because I really don't remember what she said. If I remember correctly, I think the political meme that she posted, I think is just, I thought I took it as just, okay, this is her political opinion. The trans thing, if it's the right thing to remember, I think is kind of forbidden no matter what. So even if it was something that supposedly is right, it's not something that you should say as somebody who wants to make a career in Hollywood.
There is that.
Yeah.
Because you do have to toe some sort of line. I think that's why a lot of conservative actors don't say anything. Like James Wood didn't really say anything, I don't think, until he basically retired.
Well, you certainly don't say anything if you're conservative in Hollywood.
Yeah.
I mean, that's always been if you're going to say it, you better be prepared for whatever is going to come down the road with that.
I think all the smart people don't say anything unless you're John Cena, and then you just get made fun of for sucking up to China. Oh, talk about Me Too. Bad transition, by the way. Cosby wants to Bill Cosby, Mr. Me Too, the poster child for the creepy uncle, wants to do a comedy tour because he got released, as we talked about a couple of weeks ago. He wants to go around doing comedy, and there's a bunch of clubs. I think there's like one or two in New York that said, yeah, you're not welcome ever. So here's the question: Do you think Bill will be able to make some sort of comeback?
No.
And by the way,
do you think he's even physically able to do this? I mean, he seems
he could do like what he did in the Tonight Show when for Jay, they brought out a chair and he would sit down. He would do a short amount of material.
Yeah, but this is 10 years after that. He's very feeble looking.
Reasonably, he could probably do a couple of things in Los Angeles, but I just don't see. What was his name? There was the comedian in the moment, I don't remember, who got busted for playing with him, pleasuring himself in front of ladies, and they were giving him. But if I remember the story, they said okay type of thing.
They gave him a pass.
Yeah, They give him a hall pass, and he's been canceled. I don't see anybody being okay with legitimately one of the worst rapists in modern history doing.
Well,
I think his career is dead. And as far as I'm concerned, he needs to be locked back up.
I have to say, whoever was Bill Cosby's lawyer, the dream team is jealous, because that was an amazing.
I think we talked about this last week, and he got off because, to be honest with you,
technicality.
Absolutely. And it was a prosecutor in another case that got him immunity. If he had immunity, immunity is immunity. And so
I made a joke about it. He did Mackey. If y'all need to watch The Shield to get that reference, because at the end, a little bit of spoil. He got away with everything he did. It's an amazing show if you guys want to watch it, because there's some hilarious moments in there if you're into that type of thing. But that's why I said what I said there. I don't know. I just don't see him. I don't want to see Bill Cosby. I liked Bill Cosby as a kid, but once you hear, okay, he became really creepy.
He's always been kind of creepy, honestly.
My cousin has hated Bill Cosby, I think, since the 70s, or at least the 80s. Because my cousin, God rest his soul, he's not dead, but God rest his soul, made I guess when he was in Los Angeles, ran into Bill doing something on a street corner with a camera, and apparently Bill was just a complete dick to him, which I guess from what I've heard wasn't super uncommon. So he's hated Bill Cosby since then. And I remember the time my cousin, God rest his soul, was like, said, yeah, not surprised.
Yeah, I just, no. I mean, I liked some of his old stand-up from like the 60s and 70s, but that was just short-lived for me. But
I like Rodney Dangerfield a lot better than I've ever liked Cosby. I like
different style of comedy, but
yeah, but I've never. I don't know. Cosby was.
I don't get any respect either. So
that's the way it should be. I don't know. We'll see. And I guess and this brings up other things that we should probably talk about later as time goes on. A couple other things is Rob Zombie posts on his Twitter, Instagram account about the Munsters he's building. The Munster TV
they're going to build the entire neighborhood,
which is awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah,
in another country, by the way. So
well, of course,
you probably couldn't get the licensing here.
Yeah.
So I thought that was
cool. Or
cool.
it's too expensive.
It's probably too expensive, but I'm super excited about the Munsters thing because Rob Zombie. I watched a MTV Cribs on YouTube the other day, and I think he mentioned it. It's like, holy shit, this dude's legitimately a fan.
It's really going to happen, huh?
So I'm excited because it's a different kookiness than the Addams Family.
Oh yeah, but it's still great.
Yeah.
I'm
great.
I'm excited about that.
That'll be good. Are we going to wrap this up pretty quick?
Yeah, I'm looking for other stories. There's a.
So what about streaming services? You guys all into all these different? I certainly am. I don't know. I don't even want to add up how much money I'm spending on all the premier streaming.
I have. Through Verizon, I have a deal where I'm getting a percentage off.
You get a percentage for the cut. You're going to be wealthy.
I have a percentage off for the Hulu, ESPN, and Disney. And I think that might be it because we canceled.
I got some.
Yeah.
No, go ahead. To see if I can remember it. You mentioned the Hulu.
The Hulu.
The Hulu.
Okay, so, Mr. Bush.
I'm going off a story, so this is going to be a story out of a story because I was talking about streaming services. And really quickly, I was going to talk about the fact that CNN wants to do CNN Plus now. Who the hell wants to spend money on CNN Plus?
Well, who wants to spend money on a streaming news service? I wouldn't do it for MSNBC, Fox News.
They got to just jump on the bandwagon. CNN just can't let that pass. I cannot believe it, but that's another story for another day.
However, I would pay for Fox Business and play it at night as my son to get him to sleep because that'll bore the shit out of anybody.
Go to sleep. Either that or he'll be picking his own stock Stocks are pretty soon. They go, Dad, Daddy.
Either way, I win.
So Hulu has a documentary special going on called Beatles 321, and it's with Paul McCartney and Rick Rubin, who's a producer. And it is, if you're a Beatles fan at all, it's well worth the watch to listen to Paul talk about from the beginning days on up. It's just absolutely fascinating.
Does it bring up Ringo sex toys?
No, it didn't. Especially since that turns out that's a different company. Darn. So Ringo's not getting any.
All you need is love.
But anyway, no, it's absolutely if you, like I said, if you like the Beatles at all or into it, or maybe their history or how things were written or songs were written or how they actually got together and became friends, and it's very, very interesting.
I'm not a Beatles fan at all. I like some of their songs, but I'll have to watch it because I've been watching a Kiss documentary in like 20, 30-minute blips, and it kind of talks about the beginning and end. How fair is it? Because the Kiss documentary is obviously super biased. Is it a pretty honest look? Or?
Well, it's the story told by Paul.
So it's okay. So it's a memoir.
Basically, yes, it's a memoir. Okay. It's more than a documentary, even though it kind of is a documentary. But at the same time, it is his story of how, from the very beginning, how they even met. They met, he and George met on a bus, and the whole thing from the very beginning, how they became what they became, and it's just fascinating. And so
that's cool.
Yeah.
Is this the one done by Peter Jackson?
It's done by...
Oh, no. Oh, wait.
No, Rick Rubin is the producer.
That's right. I thought there's somebody famous directing it, though. But maybe I'm wrong.
I guess I haven't paid attention.
I could be wrong. I might have been thinking a couple of different things.
Anyway.
The Kiss documentary I watched, if you like Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley, it's good. If you don't, well, it's going to suck. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't watch that, but I'd definitely watch the ones on Beatles.
No, the reason...
I'll be honest, I'm not watching either.
Oh, okay. Your loss.
It's the reason why I bring Kiss is because they're unequivocally one of the best-selling bands of all time, whether you like them or not. I'm a fan.
It makes absolutely no sense to me. That's me.
Well, it's because honestly, it's like, I don't know, this is going to sound really, I don't know, depending on what it's like. They're like Alice Cooper, but with less talent. Because Alice Cooper is incredibly talented, in my opinion. It's the stage show. Like, they're not the greatest musicians. Paul Stanley's not the greatest singer, but it's the shtick they put on, in my opinion, that makes them the best. Now, if you ask,
there's certainly no Queen.
Oh yeah, no. Let's be honest. Nobody's there. That's a once in a generation.
Yes.
Or maybe once in a century band.
Yeah, Queen. Yeah.
Because I don't think there's anybody like out there now that has.
Well, especially with Freddie Mercury, it was so underrated to a certain degree, and then he wasn't as well. So it just depends.
Well, I mean,
but anyway,
everybody on YouTube should go look up Live Aid. Take a look at the show, and if you all haven't listened to Queen or seen them, well, obviously you haven't seen them live because the band hasn't been around since the 80s, but just watch Freddie Mercury's, the dude has some amazing presence, which is very hard. You either have it or you don't. And so it's just amazing to see.
He was a hard worker. Love him, hate him, like or dislike his lifestyle, whatever it was. This guy was one hard worker and just an amazing talent. But that's,
I do wish there was an actual about Freddie Mercury. I wish there was a behind the scenes documentary because I'd love to know what the man was like when not in front. Because a lot of these people are like Johnny Carson, for example. He didn't particularly he was very quiet. He was not the person he was on camera. So I'd love to know what he was actually like. And the movie kind of goes into it a little bit, I think, but obviously the movie was trying to tell a narrative because that's it's a story-driven device. So anybody have anything to end the show on? Any story, comment?
No, I mean, depending on what happens tomorrow, we'll either have a lot of things to talk about on Monday or we won't.
So I'll agree. Tomorrow may be a perfect time to buy Amazon stock. But the reason why...
Because it'll go down, you think?
If he goes up like a Roman candle?
Maybe time.
Yeah, it may be time to buy some Blue Origin stock and some
and
some Amazon stock. There may be a little dip there.
Yeah, I'll wait for that. Buy at the low and sell at the high type thing. So.
As he straps himself in the Ron Jeremy rocket. So, ladies and gentlemen, for the California Pariah, the Fat Man, and the Old Guy, as always, thank you for listening.
Bye.
Goodbye.